You know that old proverb, a rolling stone gathers no moss? Well, our guests on today's Campfire Convos embody that to a T. Shani and Antoniu from No Moss Nomads have always loved camping and the outdoors, so it was probably only a matter of time before they swapped their home for, well, a home on wheels. After being on the road for a year and sharing their journey with 12,000 YouTube subscribers, they're making big changes to their setup that will allow them to go further, do more, and have a more immersive travel experience. In this episode of Campfire Convos, we get to know this super chill couple, get the lowdown on their new rig, and discuss what it really means to have your whole life play out on the world's biggest video platform. Black community, welcome to this episode of Campfire Convos. I'm Rose, your host, and today I'm here with Shani and Antoniu from No Moss Nomads. Hey guys, how are you?
Good, how you going?
Rose. Good. How's it going?
Awesome. Now, I will preface this interview by saying that I am a fan of you guys. So I'm hoping that this comes across as well-researched rather than crazy fangirl. Now, we've listened to our community about what they want to hear in these interviews, and four main topics keep coming up, which are your story, your setup, your lessons from the road, and your financial plan. So that's going to form the structure of this podcast, if that's all good with you.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah.
Awesome. So now, when I found out you guys had just been traveling for a year, I was actually quite surprised because I feel like you guys have got this such a vibe of like full-time travelers forever, and that's all you've been doing. So I'm really interested to get to know who you were before you started traveling.
All right, sweet. So like Shani and I both had businesses based out of the southern end of Brisbane. We had a house in Logan Reserve. And we were both working away, busy at that. I actually built a work trailer so I could leave it at home on Friday and we would disappear, just touring every weekend. I'd have Mondays off most of the time and we would just rooftop tent and travel around. And I don't know, we just had an idea that came up that why don't we just do that full time? Why don't we just do that all the time? Well, we're happiest while we're doing that on the weekends. It sort of made sense to, if we could make it happen, go and do that indefinitely.
Yeah, so we definitely lived that very normal lifestyle with our jobs. Like we liked what we did, like it was nothing to do with that. But yeah, like Antonio said, this traveling and touring has been a big part of our lifestyle for such a long time. We just love camping. So we're like, let's just do it. Why not?
We actually started with an $8 Kmart tent and a 1986 Nissan Skyline station wagon.
That's right.
What more do you need?
A little touring setup, and then it just grew and grew and grew from there.
We went to Byron Bay. That was our first time camping. So, and then the love has just grown. So it's been, that's where we started. So come a long way.
So how has your lifestyle changed? Because you said that you both sort of ran your own businesses. Do you still do that?
No,
we don't. Well, I actually only just am in the process right now because we're stationary. I'm getting rid of all the business stuff that I did have. So when we did make that change, the idea was that I was going to I had a beauty business. So I did eyelash extensions. So the idea was I was going to do that out of the caravan, touring around wherever we go. I'll set up a little lash business. But it just, it turned out that logistically it wasn't going to work. So I'm only just I still hold on to all that stuff. So I'm just getting rid of that now.
True. It goes the same with me. Like I brought all my painting stuff with me when we first I got no idea how it all fit. But I had a whole kit to be able to go out in there and still contract and do painting work because I was a painter back in Brisbane. So I guess the idea was there to carry the businesses through, but they just, I don't know, it just kind of never happened.
Practically, it just wasn't going to work out. So now, no, we don't do what we did before we left. Our business really now is, filming YouTube videos, which is so different to what we were doing. So,
wow, what a learning experience it's been, hey?
Yeah. Tell me about it.
About YouTube. So we started with a GoPro Hero 7. Actually, like the idea popped up before we left, and we just had this GoPro because we bought one because they were cheap at JB Hi-Fi at the time. And I shot a little fishing video just to practice and see what it was like to edit and do a video. I thought it was pretty cool, so we decided to start with that. And then I guess a bit of a passion developed for shooting video and getting better at video editing. It was like staying learning while on the road was a really cool thing to do, like keeping your I don't know, it's just good to stay learning, I guess. And yeah, like a passion grew. We got more and more camera gear. We started actually buying professional, like quality editing software, and just, yeah, spent hours and hours learning and researching how to shoot, how to edit, just how to make videos, how to make good videos. And it just became something we sort of fell into.
Yeah, definitely. I love the photography side of things. So I do a couple of photography shoots, and Antonio really has a passion for videography. So it intertwines quite well with what we're doing in this lifestyle. And obviously as well with starting YouTube, the whole idea was just for memories, making videos.
Like the world's best photo album to look back on.
Absolutely.
Videos are an awesome way to do that.
But then we also had a taste of, our channel, our audience base grew, and we realized, oh, this is pretty cool. We got monetized, and it's now kind of become a little bit of a business.
And there's like relationships that are formed through YouTube as well. Has been full on. Like it's been so cool to be able to meet. Like I don't think we ever would have met as many people as we did if we didn't have a YouTube channel. We had people reach out to us. We've made so many friends with some like-minded people, and it's just been an awesome platform to be able to do that across too. Because people on YouTube, I guess, can see your personality more so than they can in a photo. So they're your friend before you even meet them, sort of thing. So it's really cool.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
I was just going to say, can that be a little bit weird though? Because like I feel a bit the same. You know, I've been watching your videos, so I feel like I know you, but you've never met me before. You don't know who I am. So when you meet people, do you feel this weird, like they know me, but I don't know them? Is it?
No.
I don't feel that personally. I only feel weird when people ask us for a photo. I'm like, I get a bit weird when someone's
celebrities.
Like, people like yell out "No Moss Nomads" and woo out the window, sort of thing, as they drive past us. So that's a little bit weird.
No,
but just meeting people is, I don't know, it's normal. It feels normal.
Feels good. We actually just spent a week at the guy. So we got our car's chassis extended just recently, and we met him, and then like through that we've now become really good mates with him. That was, our friendship developed from that, and we've just spent like a week with them. They invited us to stay with them on the sunny coast, and that's all just developed all through just online. And it's really cool. I don't feel weird about it at all.
I don't feel weird about it at all. It's just it's a new way to make relationships with people, I guess.
Absolutely. And I think, the traveling community, until you get into it, you don't realize what a tight-knit community it actually is, do you?
Yeah.
I had no idea. Like social media, you probably wouldn't believe it, but it's taken a long time to even just get around the idea of using Instagram and Facebook and sharing our life on that. We're not really social media savvy people. We haven't come from a place where it's totally normal to share what we do in our normal lives. So when I jumped onto social media and started, uploading, tagging, van life, that kind of stuff, searching the hashtags myself, I was like, whoa, there is a really close, cool community of people that do this. We had no idea there was this many people.
When we left, we thought we were the only people living in a caravan. I was aware of van life. I was like, oh, there's no families living out of a van or caravan traveling the country. Sure, that's out there. And then within a few months, we quickly realized there is so many people.
And we've developed some really cool friendships with people on Instagram too, and realized we're part of that community now, which is a really, really cool thing. So we had no idea about it before we left.
Absolutely. And it's funny you say that about not thinking anybody else is doing it, because when, for Big Black Bible, we're a business, so we have to do all that research and that kind of thing. And we thought, the grey nomads, they're going to be like the major part of the market. But actually, it's the people sort of our age with kids who are overtaking. They're the market leaders at the minute, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy, yeah.
It's cool.
It is cool.
Lifestyle. So it's really nice to see so many people putting their happiness first and doing what makes them happy, because we're not guaranteed our health or the future. So it's cool to see so many young people doing it too.
Absolutely. Now, this kind of fringes on the financial plan side of things, but I want to talk more about your YouTube channel, because you talked about sort of finding a new passion really for sharing things on social media, sharing your life and that kind of thing. Since it's become a sort of monetized business, does it put more pressure on that passion, and does it take the fun out of it at all?
It can do, being 100% honest. Yeah, no doubt. Like sometimes you do, it's easy to fall into that hole, but it's also sort of easy enough to remind yourself that you don't have to produce a certain type of content if you don't want to. Like, as much as YouTube kind of wants you to produce similar content, end of the day, you're just sharing your life. And I think to have a happy relationship with it, you kind of always need to remind yourself, like, you were just filming what you're doing at the time, and what we're doing might not be the same as what we were doing last week or the week before, the month before. It's really hard to stay super consistent, and I think that can cause you some stress. But but basically doing it, you got to remind yourself you're doing it like because you like doing it. So go out there and film and do things you like filming, film whatever you're doing at the time, and share that. Is basically my advice. I could say for anyone that wants to do it is try and keep a good relationship and remember why you're doing it.
Yeah. And just sort of delving into that a bit deeper, you know, a lot of people do want to start these YouTube channels. They do want to start an Instagram page and grow and do all those kinds of things. In terms of your sort of growth journey on YouTube, how long were you posting videos before you ended up getting monetized?
Oh man, it's been such a journey.
It's been a roller coaster with
I'm the analytic kind of person. I love looking at the analytics and that business sort of side. So I'm the one that I can feel a lot of the stress and pressure. It's usually Antonio, the one that helps me get out of that and be like, hey, do you like doing this? Because if you don't like doing it, we're not going to do it. And you have to enjoy it. So with that analytics side, like I haven't fully checked like how long it took, but just want to say YouTube is definitely a marathon, not a sprint. I'm pretty sure it was between the 3 to 4 month mark it took us to get 1,000 subs, so it's 1,000 subs, and I think it was like 40,000 or 4,000 watch hours, and I think it took us about 3 to 4 months. We were posting pretty irregularly, to be honest. Like I think it was like once a fortnight we started putting videos. It was pretty irregular, but that's generally how long it started for us to be monetized.
Cool. Now, I want to get more into your sort of story about your travel style and that kind of thing. So you've got 2 little boys. Leo's obviously, I feel like they're coming your way.
A mother-in-law, they're just inside. Well, Theo's inside at the moment, but okay. Oh, cool. He's eating. Okay, thank you.
I think that was perfect timing. I think Leo's probably a lot too young for homeschooling, but what about Brax? Is Brax school age?
Yeah. So Braxy, he is in year 3. He's in year 4 now.
Year 4.
Sorry. Obviously the year and times and stuff, the days just are so weird. Just big mergers. But yeah, so Braxy, last year we were doing distance education with Braxton in year 3. We actually did homeschool for the first part of the year, and then COVID happened, and obviously it was a bit messy. We did distance education with him, and that's a whole nother, I guess, journey as well. Like, it wasn't the easiest for us. It was a big transition. So now things have changed a little bit. Braxy is now back at regular school. Braxy is just going to be with us on school holiday. So we did do distance education for like a whole year while we were on the road. But yeah, he's now back at school. Yeah,
cool. So that's a bit of a different sort of take on things as well, isn't it? Going back to school and you guys going off traveling. In terms of your plans going forward, because a year ago, you moved into a caravan, you downsized into a caravan, and now you're downsizing again. Can you tell me a bit about your new setup?
Yeah, for sure. So I can talk to you about the setup all day if you want.
I think I'll just get my husband in here now. You two can just have a chat.
So we wanted to go smaller. I guess reason was just so we could be a little bit more remote and to be able to tow a bigger boat behind us as well. So the setup's gone now from car with a rooftop tinny and a caravan to the car and the canopy is living quarters and a bigger boat on the back. Just we quickly realized on the road that like fishing, diving, gone to islands, we were missing out on a fair bit, especially in North Queensland. Like that's all the nice photos of North Queensland are either waterfalls or they're on the islands. You know what I mean? That's where the nice spots are. And that's where we wanted to get to more than anything. And having a boat, it allows us to do that. And also just get a little bit more remote as well. Towing a 21-foot caravan that's 2.5 ton and is as big as this thing here, it does limit you in the sense of places you can go. A lot of like free low cost spots these weren't really big rig sort of friendly. And that's primarily what we like to do. Like we like to tour, we like to move quickly, and we like to stay in free spots. And if we can access more free spots and more low cost, more remote places, that's kind of ticking more boxes for us. So a rig that would allow us to do that definitely took the cake in this situation. And that's
Absolutely.
what we want to.
We haven't gotten rid of our caravan though. Home.
Yeah.
Like it's comfortable, it's nice, but we really felt like, well, I know for me especially, I was really feeling like I was missing that adventurous camping sort of feel. I wasn't really getting that from the caravan because it's home, it's
so
comfy.
Yeah.
Hiring out the caravan because, like, you know, if this doesn't really work out, we've always got our van to come back to, and plus when we're done touring we need somewhere to come back to as well. So yeah, that's kind of the plan.
Absolutely. Now, in one of your earlier videos, Shani, you were packing up your bedroom and freaking out that you didn't have enough space for all the clothes you wanted to take. Do you feel like you could have gone from home to the Canopy? And do you feel like the caravan's been a good transitional stage?
Oh, for sure. And to be honest, like even now with the amount of clothes, I still have, I reckon, a fair too many clothes than what I really have. And I only wear like 5 things on rotation. So now I think it's going to be a lot easier to transition to the Canopy. But I think the caravan has definitely been a stepping stone to help with
yeah,
that.
yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Now,
sorry.
No, you go.
So many clothes as well since being in the caravan. It's definitely baby steps.
Yeah. Absolutely. Now, I do want to give you a chance, Antoniu, to tell us about the Canopy and what it's got in it. You do have a video on it, and I encourage people to go and have a look at that. But can you just give us a rundown of what it is and what it looks like?
A quick rundown. It's basically the same as a normal Canopy, but a bit taller. So it's 1800 by 1800, like most dual cab utes. It measures a little over 1 meter tall, so it's obviously a fair bit higher than them. And it's got a pop top. So the pop top's on the motor. It lifts up. There's a bed up there. And the stairs are like aircraft style, so like a plane fold it, like the stairs kind of fold out like that at the back of the Canopy. You walk up and you have a lounge suite and a little pop-up table, and the bed folds up to allow that area to be more usable, obviously for headroom, and it folds down when you want to use it. That little space of the lounge will be Leo's bed, and we hop up into our like double queen sort of. It's a weird sort of shape size bed. It's kind of like a queen size bed for us to sleep in. We've been decking it out the best we can to make it as comfortable as it possibly can be to live in. So getting power and stuff sorted was a big thing. Just so we have to continue making videos and stuff, we needed 240 power, and we needed ample amounts of it for all sort of weather conditions, like solar on the roof and that sort of thing. Big enough lithium battery in there to cover all the requirements we needed. And we got 240 power everywhere. We plugged a vacuum cleaner into it the other day to vacuum the car out. There's no lead anywhere anymore.
I mean, it'd be extra if you're just kind of going away for the
weekend. If that was your weekend setup, I have some questions about what you're doing for business. It kind of, it kind of made sense to make it as easy and as comfy as possible.
Yeah. I don't know what it is about blokes, but Cam, my husband, when he was watching the video, he's like, oh, you see this battery setup here? It's this and that and that. He's so excited about batteries. Like, okay.
Funny. Look at it from an outside perspective, you're like, yeah, that's such a weird thing to get excited about, but it kind of is how it is, I guess.
Yeah.
It really is just a tiny home on wheels, like a different type.
Yeah.
It's cool.
And I think your sort of setup now sort of matches your travel style. So what does a day in your life look like when you're traveling?
When we're traveling, I suppose it varies depending where we are, what we're doing. Like no 2 days are sort of the same. I guess we can speak because we haven't done a lot of touring in the new setup yet. So we'll speak on behalf of living out of the caravan. When we were off grid and no water, every day would be a water run. So we'd have to go out and find water in a park or wherever we could, pump it across into the car, drive back, and then pump it into the caravan. And we'd try and fit that into our whatever we're doing for the day. Obviously filming is part of most days, so we take our camera gear and drone and stuff with us. We film. If I can get out for a fish every day, I will.
You do that,
I definitely will get out there and try and fish. Fishing is a big thing for us, and for me anyway. And I really I love it. I love being able to just provide the food in that sort of way, which is cool.
Do lots of hiking, mountain climbing, depending where we are. But we just love being outside.
Basically, we love hiking, the beach, fishing, on the boat. That's what a day in our life sort of looks like. And then there's 2 days of the week, or even 3 sometimes, that get dedicated to producing, editing, getting YouTube stuff all up to scratch where it needs to be for the weekly episodes that we're aiming to do.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm glad you mentioned the time editing, because I think a lot of people watch these YouTube videos and they think, oh, they're having this great time, but they're a lot of work, aren't they?
A lot of work, yeah. Like the longest video was 3 full days just editing.
Oh, that
was a hard one to do.
Yeah.
that was the hardest, but we've got it down now to, was it about a day and a half? I think we spend.
It's about
editing.
12 to like 16 hours. So
yeah.
We obviously don't spend 8 hours at the computer to spread it out. We've tried so many different ways with editing, like just editing at night time and editing throughout the day, but we've kind of got it down pat now. We like to do it on a Saturday and Sunday, because if we're at busy places, they're generally quieter.
Well, it's quieter during the week to do stuff.
Yes.
And the weekend, when it gets busy, we kind of just chilling our van, edit, and get that sort of stuff done while everyone else has their weekend.
Yeah. It really does feel like a bit of it takes a lot of time, but we enjoy it.
Do you have a dedicated workspace in your new setup, or are you just going to wing it wherever it is?
Yeah. So that was a big thing. So with the Canopy, I actually was designing the Canopy before Shani found one that was already designed. I was like, how is that even possible? But sure enough, there was one with a lounge suite in the back and a fold-out table. We stuck power there. So that space, I can close the door, it's all nice and dark, and I can edit, or Shani can edit, and get it done that way. To make that happen, there will be an air conditioner going on the Canopy, because it's hot in a lot of places.
Yeah.
To sit in the Canopy all day will be insane to do it without having some sort of air conditioning. So
that's the plan, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
Now I've got a serious question about your future. Are you ever going to leave Queensland?
Yeah. I actually left Queensland last week. I did last week.
You went to the border.
I went to the border. I went across the border and I went fishing.
Yeah, this idea, when we left, just over a year ago, we had this idea of like, we're just going to travel full time. We're living in our caravan. We're not just doing a lap of Australia. We're taking it slow. And now we're at a point where we're like, no, because we haven't left Queensland. Like, oh my goodness, like I have itchy feet for traveling. Like, I mean, there has been a lot of kind of things thrown into the works that's made it difficult, but yeah, we definitely will be leaving Queensland. We actually will be leaving very, very soon. We're so close to getting this Canopy and boat finished, so we definitely will be.
Where's on your bucket list?
Me is Western Australia. Hey, like, I cannot wait to get to Western Australia. The coastline there being so remote, the reef system being so healthy there, I can't wait to get out there and experience it for myself. And that's where the boat's going to be another like massive must-have for us.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Around Western Australia, the Ningaloo Reef and all that will be, oh man, unbelievable! I can't wait.
I'm really looking forward to Northern Territory for some reason. Like I don't know. Outback Australia, the red dirt. I actually have a girlfriend who's in the Red Centre at the moment, and what she's experiencing and sharing with me, I'm like, whoa, that's amazing. It's like, doesn't seem like that's in Australia, but I love Australia, so I really can't wait to go out there.
Yeah, we lived in Alice Springs for a couple of years, and it's a whole new world. It's amazing. I love it out there. But it's funny you mentioned Western Australia. I swear every single traveller I've spoken to recently has been like, Western Australia, they're going to get really sick of us soon. Just like travellers all the way over there.
Race to get over there at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, that's it. It's been locked down for so long. And as soon as the borders open,
lineups at the borders to get across, surely.
Yeah. One thing that I did find interesting is a couple of people have mentioned to me that they don't normally book campsites or whatever, but a lot of the coastal, awesome, the stations and all those kinds of things, they're all booked up. So you're having to actually plan in advance now. So that's a tip for you if you're going over to WA anytime soon.
You can tell us that, but it's probably not going to happen.
Well, maybe for the wider community listening to this, then they can book.
you can book, go for it.
We,
It's led to a bit of stress for us, not booking. Because we honestly, we'll start driving in a direction with somewhere in mind to go, and we'll be trying to organise accommodation on the way there. I don't know why, but it's just how we roll. It's just how we've done it, and it's worked out. I'm going to say worked out good.
Yeah, it's worked out well for us. Good. We've been lucky. We have honestly been really lucky. When we book places, which doesn't happen often, that's when the stress comes, because we're like, we have to be here on this date, and honestly, we're really bad with time management and getting somewhere. So,
but I think that's the thing, isn't it? You get to a place and you're like, oh well, we plan to stay here 2 days, but actually we want to stay here a week. And when you book somewhere in advance, you have to move on, and that goes against the whole ethos of the lifestyle, right?
Yeah, no doubt, definitely. I suppose if you're traveling and you're restricted to a time schedule, then by all means go book it all in advance, so you kind of know where you're going to be. You're going to see you're going to see what you want to see. You won't be disappointed in that sense. But if you don't have a time that you need to get your traveling done in, if you can just wing it and spend more time in places you like and you get to see more, by all means, do it. If you can get away with not planning stuff and just winging it.
You have a good point though, Mads, because we do live in a new world basically at the moment. I'm a part of a different sort of camping groups on Facebook, and I've noticed even just on the east coast of Queensland just how busy and how expensive now everywhere is. Everywhere just seems to be booked out or busy. So you've definitely raised a good point. It's changed so much in just a few years that we've been touring. I remember being able to pack up on a Friday. We would just drive as far down south as we could, and we just pull into a national park, and we were the only ones there on a Friday night, and do whatever. But it is a new world now. It is something to think about, I guess.
Definitely. Yeah, that's right. I'm still stuck in the mindset of when we first toured North Queensland with a rooftop tent. We did North Queensland, and every waterfall we were the only people. We pull up in Port Douglas on New Year's Eve, and there was maybe 20% of the caravan park booked. All the rest of it was empty. The town was completely empty on New Year's Eve, and that was what was that 6 years ago? Yeah, 7 years ago.
So it's a bit different now, but
yeah.
And I think that's a combination of two things. COVID has made domestic tourism, rise, but there's also that concept of, and Shani, you were saying before about, we want to live our happiest lives, our best lives, and going out and being free is kind of the way to do it for a lot of people.
Yeah, no doubt. I feel like another influencing factor in that too is the internet and social media. Our parents, it was a big trip to go to Stradbroke with our parents back kids, because it's all home lines, there's no mobiles and stuff. It was trying to organize a trip like that, where now all the good spots are accessible, super easy, how to get there, where they are, what they even look like. You can even check a place out before you decide you want to go there.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a bit of a blessing, but it's also a little bit of a curse. So
some of our favorite little watering holes are you can't go there and skinny dip on a Saturday anymore, we'll say that much.
I know. I was reading an article the other day. It was put out by the Daily Mail or something, I can't remember, but it was saying, check out this hidden water hole in Northern Territory, and it was Mataranka Hot Springs. And if you followed anybody on Instagram for any amount of time, you'll know that is not a hidden spot anymore. But
secret hidden spots anymore, hey?
No, well, we lived in Daly Waters. When I first met Cam, I was working on a cattle station in Daly Waters, and Mataranka is quite near to Daly Waters, and it was hidden 10 years ago, but over the last however long, it's definitely a hot spot, excuse the pun. So I want to look at your financial plan, because obviously we've spoken about how you've monetized YouTube, but there must have been a plan for you guys before that was even an option. So how did you even get out on the road? What was your financial plan to start with?
So it's kind of, where did we start with that? So we did plan to take our businesses with us on the road, and that's how we were going to fund it. I was going to just find work doing whatever. A big thing was to be able to do stuff other than painting. So get work experience in it's doing anything really, because realistically we had to make a lot less money to living out of a caravan and a car than we did having a mortgage, insurances and business and that sort of stuff. So I was like, I can go to work and earn $20 an hour and happy days. That's going to cover costs, and I can learn something new, meet new people and that sort of thing. So that was the initial plan when leaving. And it just, I guess, I don't know, getting You take this one away.
It's really how we because that was the idea. We did have a fair chunk of savings. Like we sold our house. Ideally, we didn't want to touch that money. We wanted to wait until we could, finish traveling and buy land or whatever. But we did have a fair bit of savings. But we did, like Antonio said, want to work as we go. So there has been times where we've stopped as traveling, and Antonio's picked up some jobs, especially on the sunny coast, which was really cool. Just like I said, meeting new people and whatnot, and that helped fund like basically park costs, living expensive, park costs, that kind of thing. Now we just earn money mostly from YouTube, affiliate marketing, selling our merchandise. That's a new thing that's just started. Yeah, so they're basic and some sort of investments that we've had prior to leaving to travel Australia. So they're sort of like what we are relying on at the moment. But yeah, we're still very much open. We're focusing on those and want them to grow so we can make our travel a little bit more sustainable.
Yeah, it's worth a mention too. So I think something sort of cut you off, but it's not like we started YouTube and realized that, we're making enough money on YouTube now, we can stop doing that. Like we realized, hey, maybe we can actually make an income off YouTube, and we put a lot of effort and energy into that as opposed to traditional work. And that's basically what has been it for us for quite a while now, is just pouring energy and effort into growing a YouTube channel and other revenue streams as well that are more or less related to having the YouTube channel. Yeah,
for sure. I just want to mention as well on the financial thing, it's also saved us a lot of money, but we're really big on exchanges. We've done a lot of work, like videography work. That's not just YouTube. Antonio's done a few video jobs. I've done some photography in exchange for a service. So we've also done the whole work exchange where we stayed on a farm for a few weeks, and I would get in the garden, do some gardening for a few hours a day, and that covered our food and accommodation for the week. So we're really big on exchanges as well. So that's also helped a lot with getting through traveling, that kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Now, when you first set out, was the plan to travel for like full-time indefinitely, or what was the plan?
That was the plan. You nailed it there. Full-time indefinitely, no idea when we're going to stop.
Is it still the mindset you've got?
Especially with Brax going to school now, we've had a lot of changes in the last few months, personal changes, and as well, we're traveling now. Like I said, I have itchy feet. I really want to travel. I really want to see like more of this country, hoping COVID doesn't come back again, sort of thing. So now I'm like still just winging it, but this year I'm hoping is going to be a big travel year for us. Within the next year and a half to 3 years sort of mark, I would love to settle down. I'm almost as excited to kind of start our next sort of chapter, as well as I'm also really excited to get traveling. So
the excitement is this, because I suppose the plan for when we finished was to build an off-grid house and try and set up like a food farm for ourselves more than anything, and see just how off-grid we can go. So wanting to do that, there's like an excitement there. I don't even know when that is, but I'm excited for it.
It's exciting. I stayed at a lot of properties and farms that do that, and I love that community, so I'm looking forward to do that as well.
Yeah, definitely.
But we wouldn't have, I think that love and desire wouldn't have come from if we haven't traveled.
No, the for an off-grid house with a food forest would not be there if we didn't start traveling initially.
Yeah. It's funny because the vibe of your YouTube videos, I can totally see you guys doing that and transitioning that channel to, building your farm. I would definitely watch that. Now, just to wrap up, I want to talk about lessons on the road and the major things that you've learned from living in a caravan.
Okay, sweet. Lessons for the road.
Ooh. I feel like I've answered this recently and I can't even remember what I said. Just trying to think of like how I'm feeling right now.
Yeah, I suppose work out your exact living expenses, bring it down to the week, talking about finances, I guess, because that's realistically, as much as we like or don't like money, it's the reality for everybody. So work it out, try and get it as cheap as possible and bring it all down to the week. So you know exactly how much each week is costing you. So whether you're going to travel with savings, you know just how long you can travel for. And if you're going to be working, you know how much you need to make to cover your living costs. That's a big tip. That isn't even for like just living and traveling. That's like for life, I guess. In total.
A big thing for me as well is honestly, do you want to go?
Yeah, I'll grab Leo's.
I thought that was you, Antonio, banging on the table. I'm like, you're getting really excited about this lesson.
Something that I've really learned as well is like, do not get sucked into consumerism. Obviously, this caravanning and travel industry is booming at the moment, and a lot of people are like selling things down your throat kind of thing, but you really don't need as much as you think you need. Like just really evaluate that. I think don't get sucked into like the next best sort of camping chair, you know, you can do. And another thing for me personally that I've learned from living on the road, like I've gone through phases where I've been just obsessed with getting to a destination and sort of experiencing just that destination and taking that Insta-worthy photo and all that kind of stuff. But the biggest thing is a memorable thing now looking back just in the past year, it's the experience, the journey, not just the destination. It's like the things that happen along the way, like the friendships, like we said, we formed is unreal with just the people we've met in the past year. I feel like some of them are going to be lifelong friends, so really just be open to that, just the journey, the things that happen in between the destinations.
Absolutely. I feel like that tip about consumerism is definitely made for me, because we're actually buying a caravan right now, and we're about to head out at the end of the year, so thank you for that.
Party.
All right, guys, thank you so much. I could talk to you guys all day, but we're going to have to clip it here. So thank you for joining me. And I will be watching your next YouTube videos. I'm going to put the links to your YouTube and Instagram in the show notes for this episode. And if you could get Leo to say hi to my little boy, Brock, that would be great, because he thinks he's best friends with him. So do you want to be friends with Shani and Antoniu as much as I do? Give us a thumbs up if you do, and subscribe so you don't miss any of our upcoming episodes.